That attack on the train in Charlotte was an absolute tragedy that sadly was avoidable. As first, the media tried to outright ignore it, but now they're blaming everything but the murderer, ensuring this will happen again. As a full video is too hard to watch, where Ukrainian war refugee Irina Zarutska gets off her shift from a pizzeria only to be randomly murdered by this man. And for days, the mainstream media just pretended it didn't happen. But after the video went viral, their reporting tried to make it about MAGA, stating, "MAGA influencers are drawing repeated attention to violent attacks," also blaming the rising number of surveillance cameras in public spaces, since the videos are easily shared or leaked, creating a visual counterpoint to how crime is in fact decreasing. And in that insane Axios article, these contradictory statements are back to back, saying all reporting says crime is down, it's just these videos that are causing people to question our bogus stats. But then you see CNN coming in leading with the light rail and how she's a Ukrainian refugee, not the actual murderer, known for his long criminal history, where they don't even refer to as a killing or attack, just Zarutska's death. And how their mayor doesn't want to villainize the murderer as the unhoused that struggle with mental health, or more frequently, the victims themselves. With her other statement being, "We will never arrest our way out of homelessness and mental health," capping it off with her worst take, thanking her media partners for not sharing the footage, saying she's heartbroken, then rambling about what safety looks like in her city. Safety in Charlotte starts with her resignation, as the only response should be, how was an insane individual like this allowed to walk our streets after accruing a long criminal history like his? Talking about MAGA influencers, homeless outreach, and video reposts do absolutely nothing to protect the citizens from murderers, with the local media reporting how the judge ordered the accused killer to undergo a competency evaluation, as he has past convictions for armed robbery, felony larceny, and much more, with everybody wondering what judge would let an individual like this free, and should they be held equally accountable for the murder. And this is unconfirmed, so for now I'll blur it, but it seems the original appointed judge hasn't even passed their bar exam, as they're simultaneously the director of Second Chance Services, which would be a major conflict of interest if the judge in charge of sentencing homeless criminals was overturning their convictions to send them to a mental health clinic that she was the director of. I think it's a stretch to try to convict her in connection with the killing, but I definitely think if she's sacrificing public safety to funnel herself taxpayer funds, she needs to be charged with something. But they can't get away with it without the assistance of the media, where CNN's fluff piece about murder is concluded with large blocks of text saying how proud the police chief is on their decreasing crime rates. People pointing out how the AP seems to have largely ignored the story, with the New York Times doing the same, selective reporting. And even left-wing Wikipedia is looking to delete the entire article regarding the murder. It's insane to think if Elon never purchased X, we likely wouldn't even know about this story. But now that we do, it's also uncovering how liberal policies not only allowed it to occur, but is actually actively trying to make it more common. As if you're wondering why nobody stepped in to try to save her, New York City's case against Daniel Penny is the perfect example why people won't step in. And a year after that, NYC definitely saw the effects of this. And in case you haven't seen that video, the brief synopsis is, a popular TikTok influencer randomly got attacked in the streets of New York City. Her story trended online, and dozens of girls talked about being attacked by the same man, only to find that he has a history of recording himself attacking women. He gets arrested, but is immediately let out. But the worst part is, there was more than one attacker with that same exact description, with the NYPD actively trying to make it as difficult as possible for these ladies to press charges. And a year after that, nothing has changed in New York City.
I had to get off the train, past my stop, because there was a guy who was following me from car to car. New York City is not safe. It's not safe for women, okay?
Except that their likely new mayor will only make it worse.
The jail population of Rikers has increased since Eric Adams has come into office. We know that we can reduce that jail population to less than 4,000. I mean, Vital City had an article about a number of different proposals that could reduce it to 3,700.
But as long as the media will write articles championing how crime rates are down, idiots will keep leaning into this ideology that will ultimately lead to their demise. As we know, there is basically one specific demographic that the Democrats still completely own, that sadly seems to be the same group that suffers the most. So even when President Trump responds to this murder, trying to prevent it from happening again.
There was also a horrible killing recently in Charlotte, I talked about, and so many others, and we're going to get to the end of it. And, you know, when you have horrible killings, you have to take horrible actions. Cashless bail started a wave in our country where a killer kills somebody and is out on the street by the afternoon. In many cases, going out and killing again.
CNN can't help but again make it about race.
Trump-aligned figures succeeded in making this senseless death a symbol of big city crime. We heard President Trump asked about it yesterday when he was heading home from New York City. He didn't seem to know much about it. I have to say, some of the replies to Musk, some of the comments around this story are baldly racist, stoking fear of African Americans because this man attacked a white woman.
Why can't CNN simply come out and say, hey, murder is bad? End of sentence. And stop trying to editorialize everything as, yes, that attack was bad, but let's talk about the real issue, racist MAGA. When the actual issue should be, why wasn't this guy locked up long ago? And should the judges that refuse to follow through with the law be held accountable for their future crimes? So let me know what you think in the comments. With these stories, I don't necessarily want to promote anything except a genuine discussion on how to fix this.